What is happening, guys? So, what a wicked weekend. Just the transformations, Xmas gathering, what a success. Genuinely such a good group of people. Everyone's achieved in their own ways. A blessing to be able to guide them through that and be in, maybe the driver's seat. Gives people the opportunity to, meet others on the same journey, like-minded individuals, and it's just great to be part of that community, really. It's already been wicked, people arranging to train with each other. People have made, some of their better mates out of the group now. And it's so good just giving people the opportunity and the platform to put themselves in the best position possible. If the 5 closest friends all have similar goals, and all on the same path as you, then you become the average of that, So on that note, pre-workout is going in. We have legs this morning, and we've got a mix up in training. So I've been getting a little bit of hip pain for a while on leg press. So we're going to take leg press out and we're moving in some other movements. I've run basically the same leg session for like nearly a year and a half. And although it works, mentally, I feel like I could do with a little bit of a mix up. I'm not going in motivated, I'm not going in with anything. So we're not going crazy. We're basically taking the pendulum out and we're putting in the hack squat. And instead of running squat press, we're adding in a leg extension set. So that's 4 sets in total. Now I'm going to be doing 2 leg extension, 2 hack. So I'm actually really looking forward to this session. All in one. So I usually tend to stay away from stim products. If I do, I use very weak ones, maybe 150, 175 milligrams caffeine. But this morning when we're training early and it's a leg session, I thought, fuck it. We've gone for quite a strong one, 350 milligrams of caffeine. I've had this pre-workout for ages, but I never want to take that amount of caffeine, so just kind of sitting there, and I thought, if I don't take it this morning, then I'm literally never going to get used to this. It's literally, 8:30, so, it's not going to affect my sleep or anything like that. So on that note, guys, just before I leave, if you are making training changes or switching out certain exercises for other ones, got the Christmas decks up, by the way. Anyway, what you need to and want to think about is just keeping the overall volume the same. So, like I said, I was doing pretty much 4 direct sets for quads before, and even though I've changed my exercises, that's what I'm still doing. Sit in, muscle up, and bay. Just done abs. We're moving on to calf press. Reason we start with calves, one, everyone can always have bigger calves. If you throw them on at the end of the leg session, you're just not going to put much energy, much focus into them, and they're going to get neglected and stay even smaller. So we start with calves on top of that as well. It actually is going to help in exercises later on in the session. So by, warming up your ankles and kind of getting the blood movement and mobility, you're going to be able to get more ankle flexion. And when it comes to movements such as the leg press, such as the hack squat, where you're going to need that, it's going to allow you to probably get a little bit more range of motion and for it to feel more comfortable. So it kind of makes a lot of sense to put that in first. So we're actually on a side bench leg press here. It's actually a really nice exercise for calves, for calf press. Reason being is the resistance profile matches what we want here. So it actually lets off on the squeeze. So what I mean by lets off is it actually gets lighter, and that is the part of the rep where you're weakest. So, it matches your strength profile nicely. So what I'm really thinking about on calves, as always, is spending a decent amount of time in the stretch position. The most recent research shows that's actually where we're getting the most growth. So really spending some time in the stretch position, always trying to, get full range of motion. And even once I can't get any more reps at full range of motion, I'm just trying to get, even partials, because again, we're in that stretch position, which shows most growth. Next exercise is adductors, big muscle in the upper inner thigh.
makes a big difference to the way your legs looks. Also, it's a huge stabiliser in a lot of the movements coming. So again, I like to program them at the beginning of the session where possible. You guys can see that I've used the pad on the adductors, and that's just to put me further forward. So it's actually going to allow my legs to travel out further, which is going to increase the range of motion. I actually tried 2 pads today because one pad almost seems a bit shallow still. I'm going to run that for a few weeks and see how it feels. I think it felt a little bit better. I think I get a little bit more range of motion, a little bit more stretch. So yeah, that is the mindset behind that. 2 quick sets on abductors. Not normally an exercise I could do, but since my hips being tight, I found doing this exercise feels quite nice. It's like stretching it out. So just 2 quick sets. It's not really going to take anything away from the rest of my session, so putting it straight after adductors kind of makes sense. So next exercise up, leg extension, prime leg extension, which means we could change the resistance profile. Because of that, we're loading the top pin, middle pin, which basically just loads the beginning and the mid and lets off on the end. Match your strength profile. Once again, you know, the end part of the rep is the hardest, so that's why we've got that. Also, still during a maintenance workout, ideally, I would have probably finished this by now. By the time that actually, you know, you're going to be able to utilise this, really want to start sipping it at the beginning of your workout or even just before. So as I was saying, before my sim got full, I'm finishing off this session on my phone, so I don't know how this is going to turn out, but yeah, into workout, I tend to kind of drink that just as a beginning of the session, just kind of doing this job towards the end. Next exercise, prime seated hamstring. Again, prime machine, so you can change the resistance profile. We're loading set 5, which is going to make it easier in the beginning to mid range. So again, you know, the top end of the part of the rep is the hardest. No, sorry, it's the easiest, so we're going to make that heavier. And we're going to make, obviously, the squeeze easier. So 3 sets on this, all rest pauses. I do all my hamstring work seated rather than lying, and that's because, again, the data shows that more hypertrophy and more results come through on the seated hamstring. So if you've got a good seated hamstring, you know, it kind of makes sense to do all the workload on that. I've got the resistance profile wrong today, too heavy at the top, but still got some good work done. Lesson learned for next week.